take this out if you want.
Not taking it out.
It's up to you. I feel like if I read between the lines of certain things as my brother, I'm like, is he hurt? Is he angry?
Hey, welcome back to All Strings Attached. Hey, this might look a little bit different than it has in the past.
Yes.
Because we're in a new season.
New season.
It's a new day.
A fresh anointing.
You feel me?
Oh, there we go. Taking it back. The gospel.
He's
I want to hear one of your 16-note runs that you do.
To bust out them keys, bro.
I'll talk about your vocals. You got.
Oh, no,
yes,
bro.
You got to bring that back. Breaking news, Aaron is having his album being dropped pretty soon.
Dropped from the label. No. No, but welcome back to this episode. It's been a minute, right? And I want to just dive into some things of why I'm even back in this thing. So forgive the rustiness and the segues that maybe don't feel as smooth. I'm not experienced like Phil over here. But I have a buddy with me.
Hey.
His name is Philville. Phil. Do you go by something different online?
Well, it is Philip Villanueva, but AKA Philville. People cannot say my last name, and that's been my handle since high school, and I've just been called that on and off for years. And so I'm like, hey, okay, it's easier for people to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you've been doing podcasting for how long now?
Podcasting probably about year and a half, a little more than a year.
Yeah.
But I was doing radio for a little more than 2 years.
Yeah.
And I worked behind the scenes on some other programming a while back. So I've always had the bug to be in kind of broadcasting before the podcast was a new radio thing. So
yeah.
I love it.
This is his beautiful space. This is not my mug. This is his baby, his beautiful space. He's
what do you call it?
In.
Do you remember what the name is?
Delusions?
Yes.
No.
Well, that's the podcast.
What the name of what?
Say,
the name of your
welcome
studio?
to the podcast layer here, straight in Clovis, California, Central Valley here.
There it is.
There we go. With Mr. Aaron.
So you can tell he's been in radio before, for sure. But no, man, I just wanted to dive into some things. I know we got connected a couple years ago, and we were able to do life together. Both musicians. Obviously, worship is a huge part of our lives. But this last week, we got to go support some friends.
Yes.
Preacher's Hour. Shout out to Preacher's Hour.
Yes.
My boy Jeff, his co-host John. I was hoping to see Brandon, but he wasn't there.
You know, I felt like they're my friends like for a long time.
Yes.
Because watching their podcast for so long, and that was actually the first time meeting it in person. Hey Jeff, John, you guys amazing.
Yeah.
So I love that. I had a great time there. Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool, and I know just being the first live podcast. Because in the scene of this area or this region of podcasters, we all kind of know each other, especially like in the Christian content creator space, if you want to call it that. It was just cool to be able to go support, you know?
Definitely.
Kind of with that being said, I was encouraged. I was telling you a little bit. We had a full-on podcast before this whole recording, of course. Literally, we're sitting there just chopping it up, and we could have recorded that thing too.
Yes, we call it the show before the show, and it's like, okay, well,
that's such solid content that we don't record either.
It kind of I broke my rule because it's like don't start going down the questions before the show because then it's not as fresh. But you know, conversations always progress, so you guys are catching the further along, and I have a secret recording of that conversation I released in a little bit.
Yes, the camera's in this.
Yes. Place. But no, it's good. It's good getting reconnected. I know God is doing some great things in your life, you and your family's life. You have a new little baby girl.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. You guys have been a blessing to my wife and I personally, not just on the stage, but off the stage. We did our long day trip with an hour visitation in Monterey.
We stayed in Monterey for 30 minutes and got right back on the road.
Yes, that was, I forgot the stroller and I spilt soda, our drink on our baby girl.
So you got in trouble.
So I'm like, I broke the rules there of road trip, but it was great being back here. Thank you for it. I texted you and like, man, I'm honored you asked me to be on this new season.
I mean, I wasn't even, honestly, man, I've just been so encouraged the last couple, maybe week, 2 weeks to just feeling the itch to get back to it. But I didn't even plan. I just wanted to come reconnect, and that's what we did. And you're like, you wanted to shoot? I think you even thought I was wanting to shoot.
No, I didn't even think. I'm just thinking like, oh man, he's gonna come by. It's like, because we work really hard in trying to build a set here. To me, it's my little man cave evolved over the years. You were here years back, and it's just, and for somebody to recognize, it takes a lot of work. Behind the scenes, it's not just in front of the camera. It's more time behind the camera than actually in front of the camera. So I was just excited, that podcast community. There's many out there that just great, just like Preacher's Hour. There's many others, and I just love the community. I love what the content's coming out, and we should, I love that you're rooting for others. It's like we're all learning this thing.
100%.
Again, I'm still green. I'm only in a couple of years, and so I just love it. You and I have been in ministry our whole life.
Yeah.
It's still different. It's a microphone, but different way. And anyways, I go on and on, but most people don't see me. It's another side of creativity. I'm a little more goofy. If you don't know, I'm an introvert. So this is all.
How do I tighten this thing up?
Very carefully.
Right here.
Turn to the right. No, there you go.
Got it.
There you go. Oh, there we go.
Anyways, yes,
outtakes, yes,
100%. We're both. I feel still like I'm barely learning a lot of this stuff. I'm very green. I'm very from the technical side of things. I think I've been lucky enough to be around some really cool people.
Yes.
That have just a different level of understanding than I do. Like my boy Matt. I'm sure he's watching. Even learning from you when we first got connected at the Current, and just learning what you do and understanding all the different layers of that, and then the creative side with creative culture and doing that with Nemo and some of our buddies there.
Let me tell you, you guys inspired me. I mean, shout out to Nemo, and Joey and Jose out there. I mean, you guys are all been pioneers in your own right, and just laying the foundation. And you guys have done it and inspired me. I've always wanted to do it, but to like, oh man, they're taking that leap of faith, because I was told everybody's doing a podcast. If everybody's doing a podcast, everybody be doing a podcast. But
for real.
The market's saturated. But I hear that you get 20, 30 people watching or listening. That's a whole classroom, a whole room.
Dude.
So there you go.
We talked about that a little bit ago of like, okay, so you're starting a podcast too. What's the difference? What's the difference between all these different churches starting?
Yeah.
They've all got a different feel, a different understanding, a different perspective, a different presentation, a different way, a different sound, right? So what's the difference of starting a podcast? Like if it makes you happy and you feel happy doing it and you want to invest in all this side stuff, like do it.
Yes.
It's fun. It gets people connected, and like it keeps us connected, and it keeps, all these different creators connected to where you're in this community of creatives.
Yeah.
Right. Podcasters.
That's our mission. We're creators, because, we had a great example. God created the heavens and the earth, so he's creative, so I've always had imagination and imagination. Just kidding. No, it's a blessing to use creativity to have fun doing it. People say that's an expensive hobby you got there.
Sure is.
But if you get paid $1,
I'm so sorry.
You're not professional. Yes, I'll start buying some more diapers and all that.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
After I buy another Black Magic, of course.
No, we have a little rule. As long as we don't go hungry, you're okay getting that.
I've been at that line, so it's fine.
You've been at that line.
All right, camera, food. What are we doing?
Yeah, so long as the children have it. But yeah, it's a great thing, and I love what you're doing. I love that artwork behind you. Look at that. That's a masterpiece there.
So me and V got that done probably like a year ago now.
I want to start interviewing. So tell me the meaning of all string attached.
All strings attached. So quick synopsis of that. We live in a culture that wants no strings attached.
Okay.
Right? In the way that me, V, and even you are some of our close people that are believers. As believers, we live a life that all strings are attached. Everything matters. Every decision, right? Especially connected to the Father. You start getting real biblical about it.
Yes.
There's all strings attached, right? So that's what I'm saying. So just really quick, we live in a culture that's the opposite of that. And I want to make sure my life is always connected to the source. All my strings are attached to him. So that actually sounded pretty good. Like I know what I'm talking about, huh?
Yes. I like that. I thought you're doing the puppet or something like that.
Oh, I just talk with my hands.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the preacher. That's the preacher in me, I think.
Yes, and your dad is a powerhouse preacher.
That boy.
Great legacy.
That boy's crazy.
I love it.
I know.
We could go on and on in ministry, but the creativity. I love what you're doing. I love that you're in this new season. It's the transition. again, I'm not trying to interview you, but
no, go ahead, bro.
That transition is always a little scary, isn't it? Like,
sure is.
But it's a rewarding thing.
It's like you are an experienced interviewer, because that is literally my first point. Wow. Just so good.
It's just a natural thing. Just as far as just conversation is like, transition is hard. I think I was having a conversation earlier today. Somebody from another church and talking about the new season 2024 is around the corner. If you believe it or not,
literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
COVID, almost 4 years ago, or whatever.
Bro.
Yeah. And so the old, I won't say it's Christianese, but it's powerful. It's Christianese, but it's powerful. Look what the Lord has done, and the best is yet to come. Right. So it's like, that preaches from decades ago until now, and it's like, I could say, look what the Lord has done in my life, and I love to see what the Lord has done in your life in different seasons. Even though we get step in territory that's very scary, especially when you're walking with your wife, and it affects like lives and livelihood, and ministry and all the things that are close to our heart. God is with us, and the best is yet to come. And I just like living in the now, preparing for the future, and being thankful for the past.
That's good. I mean, that's something I'm trying to understand more and more. Mm-hmm. This year's been hard. It has been one of the hardest years probably of my life. I'm being 30 here soon, so not a lot of experience as far as being an adult, right? But for me and V, and just in our 7 years of marriage or 10 years of our relationship, this one's been the hardest.
Wow.
We not only entered into, and that camera just powered down. It's all right. We have two angles.
All that you've gone through.
Yeah. Everything we've experienced this year, transition, new career path, taking a step of faith in that direction, moving to a new city, welcoming a new life into the world, plus trying to still help this other life that we already had in the world, like continue to grow and learn. And it's been hard. So I've been, to your point, trying to understand, to live like in the now, to not stress about what tomorrow looks like literally not trying to stress about, okay, how are we going to make it tomorrow? Right. From a financial standpoint, from a mental standpoint, physical, all of it. And I think that's one thing that I've really been trying to practice and make part of not only like my daily routine, but spiritual disciplines, like all of that.
Yeah.
All strings attached, right? I'm trying just to understand what that really means. And growing up in the church, growing up the way that I did, not fully understanding what faith actually was.
Yes.
Like I've heard it all my life, right? I know how to say all the one-liners. I know how to do all this and that. But when as an adult, finally experiencing certain things and going through certain things in life, having certain things happen to you, having people do certain things to you, like you really got to learn what faith really, really means at that point.
Yes.
Because now it's not just me that I'm worried about. Like I'm on the last on the list, bro. You understand that as a father, as a husband, as a provider, right? You're last on the list in your head now. Now it's your kids, it's your wife. It's all about them, and still trying to keep your relationship with God, right? As believers, that's our number one priority. But like, it's been tough, man. And in this season, you're saying we're about to close. We're about to close this chapter on 2023, and it feels like it doesn't feel like it should be that way.
Yes, it goes by so fast.
Sure does.
I love what you're saying about what's happening up here, and we're last. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're last because our priorities. Because I want to make sure I'm away from that computer to be out there with the family. Yeah. I need to make sure I'm doing why I'm doing everything. However, if I'm not first in the right mindset and the first right heart posture, everything I output to my family, my daughter, and my wife, it's just gonna be like just contaminated. If I say it's poison, because if I just snap, if I just say the wrong thing, if I have the wrong attitude, then it's like I'm not taking care of myself to be best for them. Yeah. And so I know that priorities, yes, need to be lined up, but what's number one priority is really putting God first. I know you growing up in this thing and that battle of the mind, especially as an adult now, and it's just really like, God, where is my mind wandering to? Where am I thinking? What is this craziness going on? I bring clarity so I could be the best husband and father I need to be. And I thank God for it. You know, I see God is doing that in you. Yeah, I know it's scary, huh? It's scary. It's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going through. I know what I'm going through, you know, and I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
But thank God he's with us, man. God is with you. Whatever. And this thing, and this is podcast, no podcast.
Yeah.
Man, I am rooting for you guys. I love you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are so far away. If you guys are closer in town, then it'd be a little easier to hang out. But I'm not saying anything about that. No, it's good when you're in town. Stop by.
Yeah.
And you stop by too.
Always. Yeah. Stop by. What's up? Anyways, yeah. I 100%, bro. Like, it's just something I'm trying to understand and learn. And what you said, like, too many times this year, I feel like, just because when you feel overwhelmed, you feel like you're drowning a little bit, the family gets what was the word you use? Not toxic, the contaminated version of you. And I feel like too many times when Malia calls me or V calls me to the room, like, they're getting a version of me that ain't me, right? Too many times I can even think of, like, I'll just be home and just in a different headspace. And that's not even me anymore because I'm so stressed or I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so anxious that I'm trying to get away from that. I'm like, bro. And even I was talking to Sean, our friend Sean, the other day, and he was telling me, and he's told his story a couple times about just his walk and giving the leftovers of what he had left when everyone else gets.
Say that word, leftovers.
Yeah, getting the leftovers of giving the leftovers to his family because everyone else is getting the best pieces of him. And that is something that has been stuck in my head just because we had that conversation, and trying to make sure that they don't get that. They get the funny, the whatever happy-go-lucky dude that the reason my wife married me, I think.
And what was that humor? I think you said it was dark and
dry and a little toxic. No, I'm just kidding.
We asked him, what's kind of humor? What kind of funny movies?
It's inappropriate stuff, bro.
inappropriate
things. Yeah.
All strings unattached.
All strings unattached. That's a fact.
No, but yeah, it's great. I know that God is moving, and even in the creative world, that we're doing, and in this crazy world where we could be creative and talk about it. I think I get a little, probably in your list, I get a little criticized on the things that I talk about. Because free speech is no longer free. People want to cancel you. Yeah. People want to silence you because you have a different opinion.
Let's talk about it.
I'm all for speech that I disagree with. I might be passionate about what you say.
Yeah.
As long as you're not physically threatening somebody with your speech, I think you can believe what you want to believe, because I'm hoping that I could have an exchange of free thought.
Yeah.
If I want to witness to you or share Christ with you, or if I just want to say, hey, talk about X, Y, and Z, or a movie, let's talk about. Yeah. But if you bring up a movie, that's you're a white supremacist. I'm not white, but I don't know if you know that. But hey, I'm a white supremacist. I'm brown.
Because you watch a movie?
Yeah, we're watching a movie. It's just going on and on.
Wait, you've mentioned this a couple times to me.
Uh-huh.
About getting canceled. Are you scared of getting canceled?
You know what? I'm not afraid of being canceled for something I believe in.
Mm.
However, I do believe in personal responsibility. So just because I believe in free speech doesn't mean you shouldn't be accountable for what you say. So what I mean by that is that as a Christian perspective, let's say I'm in ministry and I'm on a podcast. If I'm going to be sincere and raise a standard in my walk in my life. For me in my house, I'm going to say and not say certain things because that's what my conviction is.
Yeah.
That's where I stand. And so if I need to be an example to those, maybe I'm a leader in my church, or maybe I'm just a Christian in general, and I need to be an example in all these different areas. But just because somebody doesn't believe what I believe, and they have a right to say what they're going to say. Hopefully that makes sense. So just because... so your question is, do I feel like I'm afraid of being canceled?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so terrified.
No, I believe in accountability. Yeah. I think you need to be held accountable. There's people in my life that hold me accountable to what I say. I don't like what they say about what I say sometimes because I'm being held to a standard. But
Yeah.
I believe that as a Christian, you can have fun and do the podcasts that we're on. We have lots of fun, different perspectives, and we talk about memes, we talk about current events, and we talk about God.
Yeah.
And I think we all want to show that we can have fun as Christians. May not cross that line, but we want to show that Christians can have fun too. I know I went into a whole long circle to say.
No, that's good. No, too many people, and I think about even Tim Ross, right, in the basement, and people have gotten upset with him because he is being who he is off the platform, right? On his podcast, he's even said it plain and clear, like, y'all are just seeing who I am regular in the regular day to day, right? There's a line I don't cross when I'm on the platform, giving a word, but this is who I am. This is how I talk. This is how I mentor. And I think we need more of that kind of stuff instead of like a filtered, fake version,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm glad that you said that. So it's perspective. We use words.
Yeah.
We define things as differently. Like you say, filtered.
Yeah.
So I believe in being unfiltered as far as the right to free speech. I believe in you should be not afraid to speak out.
Yeah.
I believe all that. At the same time, me as Philip, I'm going to be held accountable for my words.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Bible talks about those of us in ministry are held to a higher standard. So whatever that higher standard is, people have their different struggles, and I am not going to do X, Y, and Z because maybe sometimes it's so gray that maybe I'd just rather not do it. You know, people have different perspectives that say on drinking. I could hear the different arguments on everything. You know what I mean? And I can see why. I'm not bashing anybody for that. I know what I believe, my wife believes, and that's what we're going to stand by in our faith. Yeah. Everybody has a different take on that. But at the same time, going by just what you feel and just go, it's that's what you got to be in the Word of God. You got to let the Holy Spirit guide you, and really have a mentor, have a pastor. Everybody needs to have a pastor. Thank God for Adventure Church. I have a pastor there. I've had great men of God in my life, and I've learned different things from them. So I know we could bring up example after example. I could listen to somebody, and I don't have to agree with everything that they listen to. They're not Jesus. Yeah. But I could eat the meat, spit out the bones, and but again, I believe in responsibility. I don't know if that answers your question. I mean, you kind of said a statement. I'm like, unfiltered, yes, but I think there's accountability.
I think I'm not talking about like language or anything like that, because I'm like, I'm a person that I don't naturally like curse in general. I'll say little things, but I don't like.
I got you.
Say any. I don't say the F word or anything like that. But I'm talking about like unfiltered in the sense of I want to question things that people are going to question. Like, maybe I want to disagree with you, or maybe I have an opinion on something, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to
that's hot topics. There's I like to say that I'm not sure what we're referring to as Tim Ross. I know there's been some things. I'm not sure the specific ones, but
his language specifically, like the way he speaks on his podcast is very different in his tone. I'm not talking about even the language. I'm talking about his tone and his delivery. Versus the way he does on a platform.
The delivery, I understand. It wasn't. I kind of being broad on it. As far as it's beyond language. Say you could talk about the Hillsong thing. You could talk about all the hipster pastor they call it. I seen that that movie, and so there's a lot of. I think we can find disagreement, and we could argue well, not for argument's sake, because we could find agreement. I'm not saying we're all kumbaya getting along, but I mean that's what I do. We did another podcast for about a year, and we talked about a lot of hot topics. We talk about a lot of the headlines of the day that are very controversial, and we had different takes. I disagree with friends all the time, and I disagree. They disagree with my manner, and I disagree with their manner, and I'm like, they might think I'm extreme, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm.
It's your podcast. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I get the DMs though. I don't know if I've seen.
Do they bother you?
I'm going to therapy, and
he's broken,
and I don't know what to say. You know what? I to be honest, I am like, I look at all the comments, and then we've had the first podcast, and at a certain point, if you start looking at the positive, you're gonna see the negative. You got to either have tough skin or shut it off. So I decided shut it off because I don't know if I had the tough skin for some of it.
That's fair.
Some of it was great, and it's great being encouraged. But at least it keeps you balanced. So I don't know how it was for you to be in front of the camera.
I've been doing it.
You've been doing all this monologues, and
I've been doing it for a minute. And I don't know that it was ever hard because I didn't have anything to like compare it to.
Yeah.
Like, is it supposed to feel like this? You know what I'm saying? Like when I started with like doing vlogs, right? Just for me and V to look back on. We're still recording. We're still good. Cool. But even like when I got a little bit more traction on content and started doing a little bit more podcast stuff that the algorithms favor a lot, there would be some times where a video would go off and you'd get some nasty comments. And I always felt like the worst ones were Instagram. I'm sorry. YouTube Shorts comments are ruthless. It's just a different world in there. But when I first started, it was actually when we were doing the shift. Do you remember that?
Wow, yes.
The online joint we were doing. Me and V, we did online worship. We gave a small little sermon.
That was
completely online. Stuff. That was during COVID. That's when we touched viralness for the first time. That's when we started growing online. And
you had a virus?
Yeah, a little bit of a virus during that season. Yeah. No, but that was the first time I started getting comments.
Yeah.
Of like, but that was like Christians tearing us down. That was a wild time. And that time is when I learned how to build a callus towards it, because it really was like playing with me as far as like, I didn't like it. I was like, I'm gonna take videos down. I don't like these comments, but I was like, nope, leave them up. And I built a callus towards it.
I remember at that time a little bit, we talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
You're like, now how did you feel? Did it bother you?
It did bother me. It did bother me.
What level did it bother?
Like 1 to 10?
Yes. No, it did. It's like, it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
Because it's like, you feel like you're already being vulnerable, like you said, of putting yourself out there and putting yourself in front of a camera, and then for someone to tear whatever you're doing down or to make fun of the way you look or whatever. It's tough.
The look, you're fine.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I didn't mean like you're fine.
I appreciate that.
All right, whatever. Moving on.
No, I think as we keep doing this though, it's not something that bothers me anymore. Like, you're gonna make fun of weight? Like, okay, cool, awesome. You have no profile picture, great. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really bother me anymore. I love the community aspect of it, because people will
it is right there.
Yeah, the community aspect of it is definitely the best part. It's like you literally sharing thoughts, and people are interacting with your thoughts from different states and hours away. And even if they're like, I'm in Bakersfield, y'all in Fresno, like, we're all just kind of doing this thing and doing it together. So that's the part I love about what we do. Clovis. Yeah. People know Fresno more than they know Clovis.
It's the same thing pretty much.
When I say Clovis, they're like, what? I'm like, it's right next to Fresno.
Yeah. It is true. I'm glad you recovered. I'm glad that you didn't stop recovering. Recovering comments. And people think, well, that's just fake. I'm like, if you put us creatives, we take things personal. I mean, if we are honest with each other, because we're creating something, we have an art that we're doing, and then we get criticized for it. It could be the way you sing. I mean, it took me for years to kind of get past that. Or I did drama. I did all these different forms of different things, and never did dance. I won't do that.
No dancing?
You did dance
right now?
No. Oh, you can do the puppet again.
Just talking. You see, he's making fun of me in person. It's fine.
Oh, yes, it's all right. I'll put a comment later. See if it hurts you.
Take the video down.
Yeah.
I really started with creative culture and doing that thing. And I'm like, we're going to make it. And obviously we had to go different ways because we moved different ways. But But then now that I'm like trying to get back into it, and hopefully there's some consistency that comes from this, I'm not relying on it. I just like it.
Yes.
I just enjoy doing it. And I think that's okay. Like, I don't know that this is ever going to get past 30 views or 70 downloads, right?
You're going to go in the negative because I'm on it.
There you go.
I apologize ahead of
I lost viewers because I had Phil.
Yes. We need more strings.
Got no strings on me.
Sorry, see, my humor. It's not even humor. It's just funny. You know my rule?
We're both dads. I'm so sorry.
Yes, dad jokes all day. So I have a rule, by the way, of why I tell jokes. I tell my wife knows this. The reason why I tell jokes is for me. That's it.
It's not for anybody else.
If you happen to laugh, it's a bonus. So anyway, so that's the. I know it's just
side string.
Yes. I don't even know we digress a lot, but hey, that's what podcasts are. You could do that, right?
Yeah.
We're not up against a clock. Oh, Mr. Producer. What? Aaron, what?
Oh, I thought you messed. I thought something messed up.
Okay, what did you do? Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I really thought we were serious for 2 seconds, Phil.
Well, Mr. Producer is here. You're trying to get my attention.
I'm still slightly confused, like if someone's actually there.
He's looking at somebody, and he knows there's nobody there, but he's looking there.
I thought like a camera turned off for 2 seconds.
All right. I just try and lighten the mood here.
See you guys in the next. No, I think
canceled.
Yeah, I just missed being back in the community, I think. Yeah. And like when we went to this live thing on Friday, like I said, it just encouraged me to just jump back in the game, bro. Like, don't have an agenda. Like, just do life. Do it the way that you present it, the way you communicate it. And yeah, it's not the most, biblically up to date or the best communicator in the world, but it's just me, where I'm at, telling you where I'm at in life, telling you what's making me laugh today, telling you what's making me be real pissed off today. And that's what I love. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about it. Yep. And if people can relate to half of the things I say, cool, dope, follow along. I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody. People will like me. People won't like you, vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know where else to go with this. And we went completely off topics of all this, and that's great. Because it's just a genuine conversation. But
it is. You said something right now. What you just said, back up a little quick.
I want to create, just if people want to relate to what I have to say.
Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah. Yes. Okay, so I've shared this on the air and somewhere before, but
yeah,
and some things to have context of Philip, third person, me. I did say earlier I'm an introvert, but you need to understand that is not just a word I throw out there. And I say introvert. If you knew freshman year Philip, scared. Okay, am I going to serve God? Am I going to do this? I'm not sure. I have these friends. I have church friends. I have blah, blah, blah. I knew I had desire to be in ministry and worship, but things didn't line up. I wasn't sure. And so I went through a lot of different types of abuse in life. I've been all these different things to go down the list with that. And I had so many words spoken in life that just shut me down. Like, you're not this, you're not that. Even from people in the church, even family members.
Yeah.
If you did this, if you tried singing for a living, you're gonna die poor. You can't sing. All this stuff. Fast forward, I've been hired as a worship leader several places, and I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I never claimed to have the best voice, but I really feel it's because I try to have a heart posture, in it. And just go for it. And I remember dedicating 100% at a youth convention and gave my all. And it's like, I'm gonna go all the way in. And I became the president of the Christian Club, from the shyest kid in class to taking a stand on campus, being known for that. Did the first flagpole prayer at Fresno High. Put that on, and it's been one since ever.
How old are you, Phil?
I am 62. Just kidding. Yeah, you're catching up to my age.
What's that Kevin Hart meme when he asked the age? And he says, "Damn." I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I have to look it up sometimes. But anyways, that's you can research me. But okay, but so introvert. All this stuff I was told I couldn't do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
it was really in the arts, in the creative world, doing drama, being the dorkiest or the most serious.
Yeah.
In dramas in the church, to playing a hippie, a surfer, and puppets, and all this stuff. That laid the foundation to be a creative. I know it's weird on a podcast talking about having puppets. Yeah, all strings attached.
I know he's making fun of me because I use my hands to talk.
No, I'm making fun. Having fun with you. So
you say it like that, bro. Having fun with you.
So yeah, that's that. So introvert to do podcasting is like, I was told. After, I get my words. I really got to that stuttering and S's and R's, and when I'm tired, it comes out of me. But when the anointing comes,
does that bother you still? Like, do you feel insecure about it at all?
I had a conversation with a buddy of mine, and I said, even as an adult, when I will be tired, and when it will come out, and I get in that mode of just like laziness or tiredness, and I have to like my shut off switch to articulate every word and say everything.
Yeah.
And people say, quit mumbling. Oh, they don't even know that would trigger. There's that word, trigger.
Yeah.
Because I used to get, and I shared this with somebody. This is personal, breaking news.
Wow.
Now, I used to get slapped. Why are you mumbling? Quiet, I can't understand you.
Bro.
As a kid.
Yeah.
Because they could not understand me, and they didn't know. They put me in speech, and I had to deal with that. So that's what I had to navigate through.
Yeah.
So, can you imagine me sharing the word of God, ministering, in a sense, preaching in the middle of a worship service, or sharing an altar call, or doing things like that, and speaking different places? That's a miracle, and I thank God for that.
Yeah. Worship leading, right? You said it was more of a heart posture. That is one thing that over the last 5-10 years that I don't know that I've ever had the correct heart posture. I think I'm barely getting there. I think it was always a lot of the things that I did, even singing on a stage, doing some of this stuff, has been from a different place of ego, pride, and a lot of those areas. And I think Martha was actually the one that kind of helped me when we were talking with Sean and Martha, like, just change your heart posture, learn to understand. And people have thrown that word around because it's the Christian thing to say, like, have a good heart posture when it comes to serving or performing, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's easier said than done. I think I'm barely, and I don't know if it's a maturity thing, right? Understanding how to even just live and do community with a different heart posture rather than having a prideful one. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yes, we do throw that word out, posture, but let me say the build up to get to that for what I define in my little ADD mind. Yeah, is I know in the world perspective we see that certain generations they have perspective, they're feel entitlement. But I think in the church, those of us growing up in church and who happen to be creatives in the worship or the media and all these different hats, there could become a danger of spiritual entitlement. Wow. And spiritual entitlement means like I should be here, or I being real. Yeah. You could say a lot of us could say, well, I have more experience, or we try to resume God. I'm like, what are you doing resume God? You can't. Our little talent that we have is so small. There's always somebody better than us. Yeah. There's always a better keyboard player. Somebody can out riff and sing and belt and all these things. And why sometimes the most quietest singer who plays the most simple could be the most anointed. Yeah. It's because their heart posture. And for us who at some point, I feel like the past couple years has been a challenge for me to just not sit and be lazy, but to sit and sit and grow, and let people pour into me, even if they didn't know they're pouring into me, and just absorb things. So that's kind of my journey.
I think I've been lucky because the person that I'm married to has a beautiful heart posture when it comes to just living, worshiping, doing life, serving, and she's shown me a great example. And I think it's taken me time to mature and to grow up in a lot of ways. to just to serve, not because I'm on staff, not because I think I'm good at something. And even when it comes, you said worship, like you said, I've never been the best singer, but I'm going to give God everything I got because it's not about me. It's about giving everything he deserves. It's a heart posture, right? It's really understanding that. And for me, it's even getting back to the basics of the heart posture of love people to love people, bro. That's it, period.
Ministry is for people. That's the business of people.
Yeah.
It's not ministry so I could show off my talents and gifts. Mm-hmm. And I think if you lose sight of that, if you don't go and shake people's hands in church, or if you don't build community in there, and it's just about singing, playing, and that's it. Or maybe they're doing media, or maybe they're doing whatever in the church and ushering. Well, ushering, you're greeting people a lot of time.
Yeah,
I've asked some
people got mean
attitude, but just I think you gotta do what you're called to do and not be stuck. Like if it doesn't work out, like I think in ministry, I love at our church that the leadership, the pastor will say, and I'm speaking with my hands because they will say it with their hands.
Puppets, bro.
No, this way.
Puppets.
Not this way. But yeah, they'll say we're in ministry. We believe in hands open. We're not like this. I feel like a lot of pastors feel like they're going to lose people. That they actually, I love that people and pastors, leaders have it open. So if you don't like being an usher, try working the nursery. If you don't like being nursery, try the worship team. It's like we want you to be where you feel God has placed you, and part of that is you deciding, I just want to glorify you wherever you have me.
That's where like I feel like I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Because I've had a piano all my life, then a mic, then a camera, and I think what you said, spiritual entitlement, was something that was in me because of the way I grew up or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten older, I've understood some things. I've gone through some life, right? My heart and all that is shifting. And I'm really lucky to understand that. I do a lot of reflection, a lot of self-analyzing of like, bro, I know I'm talking to myself. I know I'm the problem with certain things. I know I have this hang up. I know I have this issue. And I think that takes a level of maturity in itself. But now I'm really trying to get even deeper.
Your videos are very therapeutic though, right? I see what you're sharing right now is in your videos, your journey. I can hear your perspective kind of like not changing, but it's being, I guess changing, but tweaking. You know what I mean?
It's being molded, remolded. Yeah, 100%. I love that my videos come across that way because that's why I create stuff. Yeah, I'm not the best cinematographer. I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm not the best editor, but I always have created because I just wanted to share this crazy journey. That's why I want to get back into this thing. Go ahead.
You can take this out if you want. This is
not taking it out. Go ahead.
It's up to you.
Go ahead.
I remember, I don't even know what, I felt like I've always, I texted you several times like, Matt, was just great. Your video, you know, I will probably be texting you all the time for every video you do.
Yeah.
You have not done a bad video. But if I read between the lines and certain things, as my brother, I'm like, is he hurt? Is he angry? And I see that involvement in you. I see God's doing something in you because you're trying to really impact people. You're trying to make a difference. And I think at one point you're not criticizing. I think because I know you a little bit. I don't know you like really well.
Yeah.
But I think you could hear that little bit of bitterness in there. Just that little bit of hurt.
Yeah.
And now I could see that process of healing in that, you know, in between things.
Yeah.
You might call me crazy, but I see it. You can see it in your grade. What do you think?
No, I 100%. No, thank you for saying that because there was all that. Mm-hmm. I mean, as creatives, like, and whatever level of creative you think we're on, whatever, right? We put our hearts on camera. Put our hearts on a podcast. Our hearts are for everyone to see. This journey is for everyone to see.
Yep.
Right? And I've always tried to be as transparent in my videos as possible right? Little small thoughts, little this, little that. But I never wanted to really shield like what I was going through or feeling. Maybe I did to an extent. Not like saying specifically this is what I was going through here, but you could probably sense. You said it yourself. Like you could sense there was something, and now you're seeing something different. And yeah, bro, 100% though. You're right on the head, because it's just been a progression of trying to understand everything, really. Like I'm trying to understand how to be a good dad, trying to understand how to be a good husband, how to be a good provider, how to still keep my relationship with God, even though you're not the worship leader you were anymore. You know, where's the balance there? Was it all because you're in love with a music genre that you were so connected?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Or you felt like you were a good content creator in the Christian world? So is that why you stay connected? So I'm like really trying to adjust everything. That's why I say heart posture. I'm just trying, me and V are very intentional right now. Seek God to seek God, bro. With nothing else in mind. No agenda. Seek him to seek him, period.
Yes.
Not to create content. Not to ask for a vision of where do you want us to go? What do you want us to do? Is this what it's supposed to look like, God? Bless this, bless that. None of that, bro. That's where I'm just trying to sit and be intentional with people, with my family, with my relationship with God, because over the last couple of years, it's been all over the place. And I've had really good people in my life. Sean, Martha, you, obviously my wife, keep telling me over and over, just sit in it right now. Correct your heart posture and seek God, period. And if that means creating content through that, cool. If not, cool. And that's just kind of where I'm at. All them strings attached, you feel me?
There we go.
It's like gang signs now. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, bro, I appreciate that.
That's good. That's so good.
That's where I'm at.
That's so good. You know, I think you opened my eyes with just the word content creator. I think we were at Reflection or something, and he said, "Oh, you content creator?" I'm like, "Huh? No." And I'm like, I never thought of myself that way. I'm just doing what I like to do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do it for the certain reasons. You know what I mean? Even the things that don't seem, I say of God, they're not about a Bible verse, or they're not about worship, the things that people might know me about. That for years, it's about nonsense, I say, from, all the way to the absurd, everything in between. And it's all for a reason. It's just to be a light and to pour out. For me, I want to reach people, and if they get to follow just of a dumb joke, we had somebody here. We just make things up on the spot, Frappuccino to Caccino, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, Frappuccino to Caccino, what does that mean? We're just having fun with something, and the whole point is like you have the joy of the Lord, and that's for me, because it's so easy as somebody who's struggled with depression, different levels, who have taken the drugs and have gone through different, just things, tragedies in life. I'm trying to play games. Well, I don't want to regret. I didn't try,
Yeah.
You say, well, you're 62 years old. And I'm like, you can't do that. It's too late for this X, Y, and Z. I'm like, why? The why is I love doing what I'm doing. I love doing this with you. Thank you again for everything you got going on.
Content creation, bro. And whether it's being a light for somebody, and for me, it's always just been, I just want to see the progression. I want to look at a podcast. The first episode I did with Nemo, I want to look back and then look at this one, and then look at another one in 5 years and be like, all right, what's the progression, bro?
Yeah.
What's it look like? And I have it all documented for then my kids to go back.
Nice. Exactly. Loto, his name is Loto, but I love my brother, for many years. I've known him for over 20 years, and he's him and his wife are godparents of our daughter. He would say this, and with overflow, he says, bro, there's other Phillips out there. Be Philip.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to be myself. So what you see is what you get. I'm still working on him.
Period.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So. Yeah, 100%. Same here. And that's kind of what I had, bro. We went completely different direction, but I love it. Yeah, just thank you for doing this with me and encouraging me. Just being able to hang out again has been a blessing, and
yes,
I'm excited for next. You know what I'm saying?
Everything that's next is below in the description.
Hit that thing. I don't know what's in the description yet, to be honest with you, but
yes.
All strings are attached down there. I promise you that.
Yes, and delusions.
And delusionist, or what's the word?
Delusions.
Delusionist.
Delusions.
Go check out Phil's podcast. They're killing it over there. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.